What's going on, guys? Welcome to part 2 of the mini-series. I don't know. We're just going to call it a mini-series. Might turn into a long series. I don't know. Who knows? We're fine. We're fine. We're just going to keep moving forward. But if you missed video number 1, go ahead and check that out. I encourage you to watch it. It talks a little bit about who I am. Shout out to Pokémon and all the amazing work that he's doing. But it talked a little bit about my credibility check. Still new to the space. But my son and I, as we started Jungle Games ENT, we made tons of mistakes, but we made a lot of these mistakes, so hopefully you guys don't have to. And if starting a card business, a trading card business, to be more specific, rather it is Lorcana, One Piece, Pokemon, any of those great ones that are out there, we want to make sure that we set a foundational ground level that helps be able to propel your business forward. So before we talk more about what it looks like to package orders, before we talk more about what it looks like to go out and how to purchase lots, before we talk more about what it looks like to be able to say, okay, let's jump into some of the sealed product, which is something that we're starting to do ourselves, we got to take this in bite-sized chunks. Let's back it up just a little bit. One of the big reasons that a lot of businesses fail, doesn't matter what year it was, a lot of businesses fail because they have not planned anything. That's simple, right? If you are failing at planning, you're planning to fail, whatever that quote is. I'm sure you guys have heard it a million times, and if not, I probably slaughtered it and butchered it, but that's okay. You guys are getting the point. And what I mean by that is, in 2026, and if we are starting this business off, we want to do as much as we can, but we want to make sure that we are very strategic with the processes and the procedures that we are putting in place to be able to keep moving that needle forward. You're going to hear me use that term consistently throughout this video because it's all about trying to move that needle forward and trying to achieve your milestones and get to the larger picture, which is your end goal for whatever it is that you're setting for yourself. But before we dive more into this, 2 books that I'd like to recommend for you guys. One, Vivid Vision. Definitely check that out. Vivid Vision, it is by Cameron Herold. Check that out. I've got it written down right here just because I'm sure it's going to pop up on the screen, hopefully. If it did pop up on the screen, put hashtag success. If you didn't see it on the screen, put hashtag failed, right? Hopefully. I've seen other YouTubers do it like this. We're going to see if it works out. Vivid Vision. Check out Vivid Vision. It talks a lot about large picture with being able to have some type of vision and a plan to what it looks like for what you want your business to look like, how you want it to operate, what systems that you want to use, and being able to try to figure out what you're going to be able to do to make that work. The second book, Traction by Gino Wickman. Traction changed me. As you guys know, my background is in social work, and I also do a little bit of real estate on the side. When I got started into real estate and I attempted to try to get my feet wet with a lot of different things, I did not have a plan. I was overwhelmed. I did not quite have one of those, what do you call them, kind of like a guiding arrow or my true north to try to figure out what direction that I wanted to take things. But Traction allowed me to kind of take a deep breath. Let's look at things maybe on a yearly basis. And then from there, let's go ahead and break it down quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, what actionable steps. That is important because we are going to talk about those, or as the book refers to them, as rocks. Not going to go too deep into each one of these books. Definitely, again, hopefully they're both somewhere on the screen, or they were on the screen. Check them out. If you read them, let me know your thoughts on them. If you haven't yet read them, I encourage you to do so in 2026 if you're thinking of starting a business. All right, moving forward. When I got started into this, I didn't know what direction I wanted to go with TCG, and I'm going to be fully honest with you guys. So my son and I, we decided we wanted to start a business. Well, he got into Pokemon, and it was nostalgic for me. I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. Brought back a ton of feelings. I'm like, let's go ahead and do something. I want to try to teach him a little bit more about business. So it just made sense. So we started going to shows and doing all that. Check out the first video, and I'm sure maybe I'll do more of a long form content on the origin of him and I, why we decided to go into this, and we'll have time for that. Before we do all of that, when I initially got started, I was going in so many different directions. And that's one of the reasons that held me up from being able to make the biggest leaps and bounds that we were able to make towards the end of the year. And again, when I first got started, my very first month, again, I was just a level 1 seller. I think we had like 4 sales in month number 1. And then incrementally it got better. But December was our biggest month for sales, where we ended the whole month, just December, with over 440 sales. And it was amazing. So again, it was just continuing to show up, continuing to be persistent and consistent, and continuing to be able to try to hone in on our processes and our policies and procedures to be able to keep moving, again, that needle forward. So, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that I tried to do when I initially got started. And hopefully you guys have a little bit more of a true north story than I did when I got started. But we were thinking that we wanted to do, I'm a Twitch affiliate streamer, so I was thinking I wanted to do streams all the time. And I was thinking that I wanted to make sure that I was doing whatnot over here. I wanted to make sure that I had the seal going on over here, singles going on over here. I was going to start this within a Discord group over here, and I was going to be there every time. I can't be everywhere all at once, man. I was like, oh my gosh. So it just got overwhelming. I felt like I was getting pulled in so many different directions, and I was doing so much in so many different directions that I really wasn't doing anything in any of the directions. So again, I'm going to repeat that. I felt like I was doing everything in all of the directions. I felt like I was doing way too much in every single one of these directions, and I wasn't doing anything in any of the directions because of the fact that I was not focused on getting started on what was important. What was actually important to be able to start to sell cards, to be able to move from level 1 to level 4. So once you're able to master your craft, once you're able to sort of hone in, once you're able to take those steps back and you get really good at just that one thing, then expand out, right? Then feel like you can go ahead and add more things in, or another book, Who Not How, maybe you can be able to bring somebody else in later on down the line. Not right away. If you don't need to, that's fine, do you. But until then, until you get to that point, not saying that it's going to happen overnight, because it's not, and definitely do not. I should probably also preface by saying this. Selling TCG is not one of those get-rich-quick schemes, right? This is not one of those overnight, I'm just going to buy a bunch of lots, I'm going to buy a bunch of cards, and I'm going to have a bunch of money by tomorrow. Not going to happen. So hopefully, let's just get all that out of the way. But let's talk about some of the goals. Let's move forward a little bit. So for me personally, one of the goals that I set for myself, the time we're recording this, for YouTube, we have, I think, 10 subscribers. And I knew that I wanted to go ahead and grow my YouTube presence. I did a little bit of showing off like orders, and I do like short form content. But like my short form content, I was posting on like Instagram and TikTok, and who knew posting on Instagram and TikTok is not going to grow your subscribers when it comes to YouTube. I was not really growing that channel. So at the time of recording this, I got like 10 subscribers. One of my big goals that I would like to try to get to is 4 digits. I like to try to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube before the end of the year. Now, I know that is a huge X amount to be able to try to figure out if I can go from 10 all the way up, but I want to try to take on that challenge. And I think by staying consistent and showing up and being able to deliver on content, it should be able to increase the probability of me being able to do so. So how am I going to be able to do so? So I'm looking at this in a matter of, okay, out of the year, there's 52 weeks. If I can do one video a week of long form content, that's another one of my goals, that will then be able to hopefully help me and get the algorithm to be able to get more people out there and engaged, and more people willing to be able to want to join us here in the jungle. And we'll see what happens. What I'm also going to do is at the end of the year, we'll report back. Whether we hit our goals, missed our goals, or somewhere in the middle, where maybe some of them got hit, some of them got missed. Another one of my goals is I would like to try to be able to hit about $100,000 in gross revenue. Now, that is not profit. Again, we'll talk more about that later on in other videos. But I just mean with a combination of the single products that we sell and the sealed, which we started selling now, which took time. We didn't just automatically start with both. I told you about that. We'd like to be able to see $100,000 coming in and out, right? So we'll see what happens. Those are 2 of my goals. And what I challenge you guys to do is figure out what kind of goals you guys want to set for yourself. Some might be, hey, I want to be able to, by the end of the year, have 1,000 cards listed on TCGplayer. Awesome. If that's your goal, break it up. Take it from a yearly basis to a quarterly basis, to a monthly basis, to a weekly basis, to a daily basis. And then look at the points of things that you would have to do to be able to achieve that, to make that possible. Whether that's picking up the lots, sourcing the lots, whether that's being able to find a way to categorize your inventory, whether that's being able to list your inventory. And then maybe you set another goal around that to say, hey, I would like to be able to do X amount of sales a month. Maybe your goal is just want to try to sell, I don't know, 100 a month. It could be. I don't know what your goals are, but I challenge you to write down some goals for yourself. 3 to 5 goals. Let's not go too crazy. I don't need 10 to 15, but I challenge you to give me 3 to 5 goals. And if you're brave enough, put them down below. Or if you would like to, feel free to send us an email and let's try to work together. Let's try to see how we can try to hold one another accountable, and let's try to figure out if we can crush our goals in 2026, right? So with that, what I want to do now is I want to invite you guys to check out something new that we've been working on. And what do I mean by that? So we decided that when we got started, there was some form of a disconnect from how I was trying to track my stuff. I just didn't know if it would make sense to use the spreadsheets over here, if I was going to use a Word doc over here. And one famous quote that I heard from a business partner of mine, guessing is failing. And so I knew that I didn't want to just guess these kinds of things, but how was I going to be able to track the amount of time that I was picking up stamps? How was I going to be able to track the amount of time that I was grabbing envelopes? Or how was I going to know when it was time for me to order more top loaders, right? Or how frequent was that happening? So what we came up with is completely free, and download if you would like to. Go over to our website, check it out. I think that you guys will like it. There's a landing page, and somewhere on here is going to have all the links and all the information for you. But check it out. Download it. Try it out, especially if you're level 1 to level 3. This is really going to help you guys out. You're going to get some amazing tools once you get to level 4. But I believe that this should be able to help you get started a little bit faster, to be able to understand a little bit more as your business begins to grow, what it looks like month over month, week over week, day over day, to be able to sort of pick and choose where your strong suits are, right? To be able to understand the difference between a month maybe where you're not picking up lots and you're saying, oh, I didn't pick up a lot of lots, I'm not listing a lot of inventory, my sales are down this month, this could be why. To a whole nother month to where, hey, I purchased 4 different lots this month, I spent, I don't know, $5,000 on lots, and maybe $1,500 each time on lots, and this month is my best month yet. So what would the difference between them be? And what do I need to do for the next month moving forward? This is the type of stuff that hopefully this tracker will be able to help you with. Check it out. Again, link's going to be in the description. Let me know your thoughts on it. Go to the landing page, get your copy, and let me know how it works out for you. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, y'all. Peace.